guys, it's Haley. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about my 2-week wait symptoms, the cycle that I actually was pregnant.
Pull me close, take me in, just me, just you, lost in the moment. Lost in the moment.
This cycle was the weirdest cycle ever. So my emotions were completely out of whack because of taking Clomid. So I had absolutely no clue if any of these symptoms are pregnancy symptoms or just symptoms from coming off of Clomid. Because the last couple days before I ovulated, I was an emotional wreck. Being on Clomid wasn't bad. It was the after effects of like my body coming out of that hormone that completely threw me for a loop. So I had no clue what was going on with my body, and let alone if I really wasn't worried if it was pregnant or not, because I was just trying to figure out how to survive the day because I was so emotional, so mad, so angry, so sad, so happy. Everything was very over dramatized. But so I guess I'll start on one DPO. I think everything was fine that day, normal things, and then I have watched Vampire Diaries multiple times on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows. And I went and rewatched the whole thing again. And this day I just happened to be watching the finale, which I will not ruin this for any people, but it's a very sad finale, very dramatic finale. I bawled like a baby. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever cried at the finale. I've watched it at least 5 other times. I bawled, absolutely bawled. And I kind of wondered then if I was pregnant or not, because I am not a very emotional person. I do not cry at everything. And I was bawling the whole time. So, and then I would say around maybe 2 DPO, I had the sore breast still, which I had from the day I ovulated until, gosh, that lasted forever. I would say at least past 8 weeks. It was past my first ultrasound that I had the sore breast. Like, it just never went away, which was a very annoying symptom. So I had sore breast, I was crampy, and then I had this weird thing where we went to the movies and I had to pee 3 times during a 2-hour movie. I hadn't drank that much that day. I hadn't drank an abnormal amount. So the fact that I had to get up and get up out of my seat during this movie 3 times to go pee meant that, okay, this is weird. This has to be a pregnancy symptom because that never happened. And then I also woke up once in the middle of the night to pee that night, which is really weird because I don't ever wake up in the middle of the night at all. Looks like a couple days later I had some leg cramps. Oh, and then I guess I didn't talk about this in my finding out I was pregnant video, but I did do progesterones as well, and those progesterones were actually low. My first progesterone I got back at 8.93. I got that drawn on cycle day 8. So that technically wasn't really showing that I ovulated or even ovulated well from what my OB was saying. I was very sad, could have cried at anything. I was very emotional. And then I had a really weird pimple on my back. I had back knee. And if you know me, right now I have a couple pimples and I don't know why. I think baby girl went through a growth spurt this week because I finally popped and it has wrecked my face. But other than hormonal acne, maybe once a month, I do not break out. I just don't. I don't know why, but I don't get acne. I don't get acne anywhere else on my body. And I had this weird back pimple and it freaked me out. I'm like, that never happens. That's weird. So I was like, okay, that's kind of a weird symptom. Maybe my hormones are out of whack because of taking the Clomid. A couple nights later, I woke up very hot and sweaty. Didn't feel the greatest. Had instant stomach ache. And this was when I knew I was pregnant. Like, in my gut, I knew I was pregnant. I had a vivid dream about like having a HIPAA violation at work, and it freaked me out for weeks. Freaked me out, but it was the most vividest dream ever. And I had read about, not read, but watched YouTube videos about vivid dreams, and I always thought it was kind of like a crock, because I'm the kind of person who, if I have dreams, I literally can never remember what my dreams were. So the fact that I had this vivid dream and it woke me up out of a dead sleep, I knew that is a pregnancy symptom, and I may be pregnant. I was also very out of breath, and I was out of breath just walking down a hallway. I walked kind of fast, I guess, but I was out of breath, and it was very weird. I did have this weird where I was just like dizzy and didn't know why, and I just like had to like kind of stop and like raise slowly and just kind of watch what I was doing, because I was really kind of getting dizzy and lightheaded. And on November 1st, I was very tired, heartburn. There was another thing. During my 2-week wait, I didn't really have much of an appetite. I wasn't like craving chocolate. I just really honestly was never hungry. But on November 1st, I got my big fat positive. Couldn't eat as much. Kind of had slight nausea, which it was not nausea. I think it was in my head, because later on that month, I found out what nausea is. And then had lower, this was another really thing, my hips hurt. I started this new job and I kind of sit a lot, but I sit for like a while, then I get up, then I sit and sit. So I was sitting more than normal, so I didn't know if that was like why my hips ached so much. It felt like the worst period cramps ever. Oh, it was so miserable. I had like a foggy brain. I just couldn't think of things. And I had my first pregnancy craving, which was chicken nuggets from McDonald's, or actually any chicken nuggets. I just had to have chicken nuggets all the time. I think there was like 2 weeks straight that I just had a big old craving for chicken nuggets. The weirdest thing ever. On November 9th is when I found out that I was COVID positive. Me and my husband both were. So I guess I will stop this video there, because that was a couple weeks before my first ultrasound. So those are kind of my 2 weeks / couple weeks into my pregnancy symptoms. If you want to hear about me being COVID positive while being very early on pregnancy, keep watching.